I want to share with you a really delicious expression of Georgian-inspired leg of lamb, butterflied, cooked on the barbecue with beautiful red rice and loads of herbs. So I'm taking inspiration from Georgia, from Chef Gurum, and also the spices that he's gifted me. Look at these spices. What I've done is I've gone to the butcher and I've asked for a lovely leg of lamb, and I've asked the butcher to take it off the bone. When you take it off the bone, actually, it becomes really easy to flavour and easy to cook. Now, the interesting thing is, when you have a leg of lamb, there's actually like 4-5 cuts of meat there. So when you open it out, if you cut it in a length, you'll get all the different flavours of those different cuts of meat, so it's going to be delicious. So first up, let's get the rice going. And actually what I'm going to do is try and find a little excess fat. So often people complain about lamb being too fatty, right? And they remove some of this fat, but actually fat is flavour. And I'm just going to use a little bit of this to really make this rice special. So with this fat, I'm just going to slice it up like this. And we put this in the pan, like that. I'll add a little bit of olive oil here. And then finely chop some onions, just a couple of onions. As that lamb fat starts to get crispy and render just a little bit, I'm going to add a couple of key spices. So I'll take a little chili and I'll just take half off and I'm just going to tear it up, just for a tiny little bit of heat. That goes in. Then we'll go in with a couple of bay leaves, beautiful and fragrant. And then into this is a classic flavour of Georgia, caraway. It's a spice that we don't use enough in the UK. It's an amazing spice. Then quite a generous use of black pepper. And then we'll stir that in. Just let the fats, look at that. Look at it just frying up. You can hear it. We'll now go in with the onions. And of course the onions, if you cook them right, will be sweet and delicious and give you a really nice base to the flavour. Let that fry nicely. Then break that frying with a litre of water. Let that come to the boil and we'll add half the amount in weight of beautiful red rice. So this rice takes a little longer to cook and it's got a bit more of a kind of chewy texture, but it is really delicious and utterly tasty. So in we go. And we'll give it a nice seasoning with some salt. And the flavours are going to be amazing. So what we'll do is we'll just pop the lid on and we'll bring it up to the boil, then turn it down to a nice little simmer. We'll cook that for about 50 minutes to an hour until the rice is soft, but still holding its shape. We'll give it a nice little stir every now and again, and we'll check the seasoning. As that cooks, I want to show you just a very simple preparation for barbecuing or grilling or grill roasting a piece of lamb. So what we do is we just go to the lamb and just do little kind of scores here, like that. When you open it up like this, if we cook it and we slice down here, you're going to get different pieces of meat. They all taste slightly differently, and they're absolutely delicious. So I'm going to add some of this beautiful fenugreek. And if you go to the supermarket, you can find fenugreek leaves or fenugreek seeds. So I'm going to have about 3 teaspoons of that go in. Then we've got some marigold. Look at that colour. And this is very Georgian. And I'd never really seen this until I went to Georgia. And you see it all over the markets. I'm going to use dried and fresh. You get different flavours. Just a little bit of chilli powder. And then ground coriander here as well. And ground coriander is a really beautiful, savoury spice. Really good with lamb. I'll be quite generous with salt. So a couple of really good pinches. And pepper again. And just grind this up. You make a nice little spice blend. And then you can start adding other things. You can take herbs. I've got some beautiful herbs here. I've got a little bit of rosemary. Rosemary and lamb is fantastic. So I just want to flavour the lamb in a really nice, natural way. A little bit of Essex and a little bit of Georgia coming together. So bash up those herbs. Once you've done that, we'll take a couple of cloves of garlic. And then I want a little bit of acid I can use a little vinegar, I can use a little lemon, you could use a little pomegranate. It's delicious, sweet and sour. And I just want to create like a little rub, a little paste. A little bit of that olive oil goes in. And then I just want to be able to rub it over the lamb. Look at that. Add a little lemon juice. So we'll lay the lamb on the board like this, and we'll just pour this over the top and rub it all over. So you don't want to be polite about this. So we'll get the salt and the spices into all these little cracks and crannies. Turn it around. So get it on the fat there. We can lay this over the grill. I'm going to take care of that, get it really golden and crisp and gnarly on the outside. And I want to cook it so it's kind of blushing and juicy on the inside. So I'll keep an eye on that rice. You can see how it's absorbing that water. And I'll just give this lamb a little turn. And you can see we're just building up layers of beautiful flavour. Next to it, I've got some oyster mushrooms. And you can use any mushrooms you like, but just by cooking it over the charcoal like that, you're getting smoky flavours. And of course, we're drying it out. But then what I'm going to do is take a little pan, and in the pan, I'll fry onions and some garlic. Garlic and mushrooms, always good friends. And just roughly chop that. I'm going to add some olive oil, and we'll go in with the garlic and onions. Going to take a little handful of walnuts and break them up. Just a gesture. And then these mushrooms, can you see what I've done here? You kind of dehydrate them. Look how amazing that is. So actually, we can just tear these up into quite rustic bits. That dehydration creates a nutty flavour, which I love. But also, I like the mushrooms to be soft and delicate. So it sounds crazy, but I've dehydrated them here with smoke and a dry heat. And then I want to put them in here with the sweet onion and a little bit of water or stock to rehydrate the mushrooms to be really soft and silky. I'm actually going to use some of that marigold just to give it the colour. Look at that. So in we'll go with the mushrooms. So I'll mix this around. I'm literally going to put this on top like that and let it just sort of stew down a little bit, and hopefully that will rehydrate the mushrooms and they'll be soft, sweet, delicious and full of flavour. In the coals, I've put some onions in their skin, and it's going to kind of jamify and caramelise the onion on the inside. So they've been cooking for like, I don't know, maybe an hour. So we'll just peel these onions. So even though it looks ugly, when I use a knife, when I squeeze it out, have a look at that, look. On the inside, it's just pearly white, soft and tender. So just chop up those beautiful onions. And I just want to kind of create a little base for that gnarly grilled lamb to go on. So some beautiful flavours here. Tarragon, just lots of tarragon, lots of herbs. Then we got some mint. You'll just have a nice mixture of fresh and kind of cooked flavours. So just a nice little bit of oil there. Cold pressed sunflower oil. Oh, it's getting interesting. And then, so we get a nice little hum of garlic. So there's a little heat there and the aroma. And then a little vinegar, just to give it a little tang. And last but not least, some beautiful pomegranates. Sweetness, sourness, and let's just mix that through. Look at that. Come on, the colour, come on. I'll finish it with maybe a few little flowers and a few more bits of pomegranate, and I think that's going to be beautiful. I've got the lamb here. It's been resting for about 10 minutes, just while we've had a couple of drinks. When you let it rest, all the juices go back to where they should be. I know the lamb looks quite dark now, but what we want to do is slice the lamb on this beautiful board. Come on. And as I slice through it, you're getting all these different cuts. Can you see? So I've cooked it through, but also there's a little colour there, so it's still very beautiful. And now we can enjoy the supra. This is the magic of a Georgian supra. Chef, this looks amazing. All the food's done and the people are starting to arrive.
Yay! Come on!
The supra isn't just a meal, it's a gathering.
Thank you, darling.
It's about food, yes.
Come on, look at that, everyone.
But it's also about stories, toasts, music, and connections.
How about this? Go mud! Goes!
My Georgian brother, this is a festival of colour. What a patchwork quilt of love and care and attention. Make sure you have a little bit of everything. Cheers!
Georgia!
Georgia!